Cybercrime seems to be taking shape in different countries. As in Uganda here, we've had our fair share of struggles with cybercrime. But now, as it looks, in Zambia, a sophisticated internet fraud syndicate has been uncovered and leading to the arrest of 77 people, including 22 Chinese nationals. I remember last week, we also had an issue where we had to arrest a foreigner, a Pakistani foreigner that has been spearheading human trafficking in Uganda. So I like that in Zambia, they are on top of things and they arrested these people. And also here in Uganda, our agencies, security agencies have done a good job to culminate cyber crime. Now coming back home, many stories have made news yesterday as the Muslim faithfuls flocked different mosques around the country, and the universal or the unison request by Muslim leaders to our political leaders was to seek reconciliation in different aspects, but also look at some of the issues that are aggrieving traders in the country. As you know, on Monday and even Tuesday, there has been a strike by traders closing shop and, of course, retaliating against URA's IFRS system, which some traders thought was a new tax, but also others still striking against the increasing taxes and different taxes levied against traders. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and in studio with me is Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono, but in studio too is Chantal Olive Akaninda and Joram Paul Sonko. And speaking of Sonko, Haji Mzafaru, for yesterday, how was Eid al-Fitr?
It was okay. I happened to visit two places. One went to Entebbe, then secondly I was in Makindye, so I was moving all about when it comes to Eid. And the Muslim brothers and sisters, thank you very much for hosting some of us and sharing your day with all of us. A day where you were feasting, but a day when you are breaking your 30-day fast entirely. And may Allah accept all your prayers during this time. But as we were celebrating Eid al-Fitr, the news also started circulating that Mulago Hospital has suspended, suspending kidney transplant. Something that had just been, let's say a trade setter or something that had actually showed that our health sector is actually taking the right strides. Now, surprisingly, they've suspended kidney transplants. Why is that so? Because the government wants to first create a regulator. A regulator who will actually follow up with the prices of the kidney transplant, and then also to see how the entire process goes after the transplant, who is supposed to be taking care of the donor, then the patient, all of that. So as of now, there is no current kidney transplant ongoing in Mulago Hospital, none until the government comes up with a regulator who will be regulating everything. But that aside, it is Thursday, and Eid al-Fitr was a very good day indeed.
A good day indeed. Many of you were resting, I assume, especially those in the corporate sector, in the corporate world, but also Muslims were having their equivalent of Easter, Christmas. Anyway, it was a good day indeed. And of course, another gentleman here. Chirabo, where did you run to?
Well, first I must say yesterday was indeed a very good day because there was so many invitations. But unfortunately, I was at my home.
Unfortunately?
Unfortunately, because many people expected me to go there, we have a meal together. But I hosted people at my place. And one of the things that really interested me is the fact that we saw people coming together, very many people, because almost every home you would go to or anyone you would call. I remember calling one of my friends and he's like, Bampi say before Biwedako. I've been invited to a number of places, and this is a Christian. So you remember yesterday we were talking about let's not segregate people, let's create this bond. Together. So I was happy that the spirit of togetherness, inviting people happen. But one thing I also observed, if someone invites you, like for Eid, please, after eating, go.
Why? Isn't it time to now bond and have conversation, have a good time?
You know, some people overstay their time. You're not invited for Eid, and you want to leave a man's place at 7. You know, because for heaven's sake, we've eaten, we've had some chatting, please go.
Eish. The spirit of community seems to be getting out of our homes today. For
Because
me, that is worrying, because on days like this, people used to stay till late. So now if we are changing the narrative and telling people to leave as soon as they're done
Not
eating,
as soon, but you know, at least if you've come for Eid,
same thing.
and food is served, what are you still doing at a person's place at 8?
I would like to rope in Chantal and hear her perspective on the same. Good morning, lady.
Good morning, Olive. Welcome back from Eid.
Welcome back. Do you agree with Chirabo?
I believe some of these things should be in how we were raised. You cannot overstay your stay. You overstay your welcome in someone's home. So have where you know by 8 p.m. literally you should be leaving, or why should you be there until past that time? You've been invited, yes, to celebrate and everything, but leave ngakachayocha when they still need you around before you become a nuisance in someone's home. But away from that, yes. In certain countries today, Eid is actually being celebrated because they did not see the moon on the 8th of April. So in certain countries, some parts of India actually, Eid is being celebrated as we speak. And I am thinking what would happen to other places that did not see, but some that did not actually see the moon just went ahead and celebrated Eid yesterday with the rest of the world. But as of today, we do have some countries that are just celebrating Eid. And well, if you are someone that belongs to that country and you are in our country, then we are saying happy Eid to you, but welcome back from Eid. Also, I was trying to check on the reports, especially on cases. We usually during say Easter or Christmas, we see a lot of robbery cases, accidents on the road and all that. But it's not as bad. I was trying to get some information about it. It's not as bad as yesterday's celebrations did not come along with such or as many incidents as we usually see. Yes, we had a case of robbery accidents here and there, but not as bad as it always happens during Christmas and during Easter holidays. So I think there is something in there that we need to look at, but I'll just leave it at that for the moment.
And knowing that there wasn't much crime or even accidents or fatalities is a breath of fresh air, because what we are used to usually during festivities is something that really deepens and sickens and aggrieves one's heart. So I'm happy that we didn't have as much. Now we delve into local news.
Well, we want to begin with still Eid celebrations that were all over the country yesterday. Where at Old Kampala, the Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubajje, appealed to Muslims to embrace tolerance, unity and togetherness for peaceful coexistence. Mubajje's appeal comes at the peak of unrest in Sudan and Middle East situations. He said, "I've not allowed Muslims in those areas to feast and celebrate Eid al-Fitr." This, the Mufti said, as he led prayers at Old Kampala Mosque, the headquarters of Uganda's Muslim Supreme Council. He called upon fellow Muslims to embrace living in unison for peaceful coexistence. Mubajje also wants Ugandans to embrace government programs aimed at developmental purposes. Similar to this message is what the Secretary General of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, Haji Abasi Mulyabya Sechanzi, carried. He told Ugandans to embrace the upcoming national housing and population census. Other celebrants equally called for peaceful coexistence even after the Ramadan season. At the end of it, it was upon recipients of the message to either receive or desert the message.
And moving on, we will start with a notice. The Presidential Press Unit has noted with concern the information circulating on social media regarding His Excellency the President's scheduled address to Kampala traders on Friday, April 12, 2024 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. The PPU wishes to clarify that this information is untrue. If a meeting with Kampala traders is indeed planned, all relevant stakeholders will be duly informed. This is from the management, the Presidential Press Unit. And moving on, still with our news, still speaking matters, Eid celebrations, as we look at the celebrations of that happened at Chibuli. Hundreds flocked to Chibuli Mosque yesterday for Eid prayers after 30 days of fasting, the holy month of Ramadan. During the Eid prayers, Muslim leaders appealed to government and traders to reconcile and harmonize on taxes, which earlier this week had caused a strike in Kampala. Prince Kasim Nachibinge also appealed to government to reduce on its expenditure and prioritize infrastructure development. During the prayers, the preacher of the day, Sheikh Dr. Sheikh Hafid Walusimbi, urged the Muslim Ummah to continue prioritizing the needy during Eid celebrations and celebrate in the path of Allah. Muslims expressed their joy upon reaching Eid.
And now Eid celebrations regarding yellow fever vaccination. Having extended the yellow fever vaccination exercise, vaccination teams now resorted to carrying out vaccination at public gatherings to ensure all eligible persons benefit from the exercise. The team took advantage of the Eid al-Fitr celebrations to administer vaccines at various mosques across the country. Thousands of Muslims gathered to pray Eid al-Fitr prayers yesterday at Masjid Sid al-Majura. Muslims were called upon to maintain good discipline manifested during the month of Ramadan. Muslims were implored to embrace government programs, especially the ongoing vaccination against yellow fever. Kushaba Ann, a yellow fever vaccinator at Masjid Said Amar, said the turn-up exercise was relatively low compared to the numbers that turned up for prayers.
Still matters Eid. The Eid celebrations in Kampala this year have seen a notable decrease in demand for meat as slaughterhouses in the city remained stocked with unsold produce. Yet sales have not picked up as anticipated, raising concerns about the economic conditions affecting Ugandans despite reasonable pricing. Stating that economic factors continue to influence consumer behavior during festive periods. The low demand for meat this Eid reflects the ongoing economic challenges faced by many Ugandans. The situation has been attributed to the ongoing economic strains felt across the nation. Senkubuge Joseph Amitsela noted that despite the considerable number of cows slaughtered for Eid festivities, prices have remained stable at around 15,000 shillings per kilogram. Well, looks like matters economics are affecting every sector.
15,000
For you, how much did you buy your meat?
Well, it was over 20,000.
I think you stay in the planned areas in this
Not
Kampala.
meat packers.
Well, Chantal, what do you have for us in the international news?
Well, internationally, we are starting off with the U.S., where President Joe Biden has promised ironclad support for Israel amidst Iran attack fears. Now, he promised this support amidst fears that Tehran could launch reprisals for an attack that killed senior Iranians. Mr. Biden warned that Iran is threatening to launch a significant attack after Israel struck the Iranian consulate in Syria 10 days ago. We are going to do all we can to protect Israel's security, he added. Earlier on Wednesday, Iran's leader said the Israeli attack on Damascus was equivalent to an attack on Iran itself. When they attacked our consulate area, it was like they attacked our territory. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said in a televised speech. The evil regime must be punished, and it will be punished. 13 people were killed in the first April attack on the Iranian consulate building, including senior Iranian military leaders. Israel has not claimed responsibility for the attack, but is widely considered to have been behind it. U.S. and Israeli forces in the region have been put on high alert in the days since. Away from that, consumer prices in the U.S. rose faster than expected last month in a sign that the fight to slow inflation has stalled. Prices rose 3.5% over the 12 months to March, up from 3.2% in February, the U.S. Labor Department said. Higher costs for fuel, housing, dining out, and clothing drove the interest. Analysts warned that the lack of progress in curbing price rises will force the U.S. Central Bank to keep interest rates higher for longer. Higher rates help establish prices by making it more expensive to borrow for business expansion and other spending. In theory, that in turn slows the economy and eases the pressures pushing up prices. The Federal Reserve's key interest rate is now at the highest level in more than 2 decades, in the range of 5.25 to 5.5%. Forecasters had expected the bank to start lowering borrowing costs this year, reflecting the fact that inflation rate, which tracks the pace of price rises, has fallen significantly since hitting 9.1% in 2022. But recent economic data, including strong job creation figures last week, has raised doubts about how soon those cuts might come. Shares on Wall Street closed lower on Wednesday as investors had been betting that rates could soon be cut. And lastly, a sophisticated internet fraud syndicate has been uncovered in Zambia, leading to the arrest of 77 people, including 22 Chinese nationals. It was a significant breakthrough in the fight against cybercrime, the authorities said after a multi-agency raid on a Chinese-run company. The firm employed Zambians who believed they were to be call center agents. Among equipment seized were devices allowing callers to disguise their location and thousands of SIM cards. Golden Top Support Services, the company at the center of the raid, has not commented on the allegations. The swoop on its premises located in Roma, an upmarket suburb of the capital Lusaka, was led by the Drug Enforcement Commission and also involved the police, the Immigration Department, and Anti-Terrorism Unit. It came after months of intelligence gathering by the agencies following an alarming rise in internet fraud cases in Zambia, DEC Director General Nason Banda said after Tuesday's raid. And that's it for what is happening internationally.
And as we come back from the international news, now Jerome Paul takes us through the press review of papers within Uganda, but also in Kenya and Tanzania.
And well, of course, as we kick it off with the new vision in Uganda, the details are Muslims cleared to take PDM money. Muft accepts President Museveni's explanation on interest. This is with the New Vision and the Eid al-Fitr messages. And on the front page of the New Vision today, you can easily see what is or what happened across the entire country or major praying centers in Kampala. Then in the other news, still with the New Vision, climate change, the European Union has provided 165 billion Ugandan shillings to fight deforestation. Read about that. Then health, war veterans, 630 million Ugandan shillings for back surgery. As in matters leadership, President Museveni urges CID officers on patriotism. Then police foils 190 million shillings robbery and rescues businesswoman. Then over 270 tenders are available for those seeking for new placements. Now, still matters press review. The Citizen newspaper from Tanzania is highlighting tax evasion remains a huge problem. according to President Samia. She was revealing this yesterday. And then also in the Rising Woman Citizen Series, how Remy has made an impact on empowerment. Then housing, Africa's populous nations turn to private investors. Then Muslims mark Eid al-Fitr as holy month of Ramadan ends. Then government restates commitment on business climate. Then also an opinion on how having own credit rating agency can accelerate business growth. That is it from our press review this morning.
Thank you, Jerome Paul. Now, we will take a short break, but we will leave you with a song. This one is dedicated to Mr. Ruben Pima from Sports. And it is Milli Vanilli, Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
But still I had to play this painful part. You wrapped me around your lips.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial star 165 star 3 hash or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, Uganda in 2022 adopted Kiswahili as its official language. Yes, you and I are still speaking English in our places of work, but Kiswahili is actually our official language. Now, we want